Hello viewers, welcome back. This is going to be part 2 of the Apple LC restoration video. So I've just picked up the last one that I put in the box. I think this is the one with the slightly better quality, not quality, but better condition case. Not quite so yellow, and it doesn't have that crack in the back. So first things first, we're going to need to strip this down, and because we're going to need to clean all the plastics, of course. So one of the nice things about these Apples is there's pretty much no screws that hold them together. Everything just clips into place, which makes disassembly rather easy. So that's the top lid. We've got a metal screen shielding cover inside there. You can't remove that because it's been heat staked on, but that's fine. That can just get washed as it is. So yeah, in here we've just got all the stuff that you saw before, the ROM and the RAM. So first off, we'll go for the floppy drive. So there's just 4 clips here. Should allow us to get this out. So yeah, that's pretty simple. So it's a Sony drive there. And the next bit, we'll just remove the fan and what looks like the speaker assembly. Yeah, so really nice system design. As I said before, I'm not a huge fan of Apple, but I certainly respect the level of design that goes into a lot of their products. It's really, really nice to see that. I'm just thinking that space there might be an excellent location to remote mount the non-volatile RAM battery, because I want to relocate that off the board. So if it does leak in the future, could well be contained just in this little area there. That would be perfect for that. Power supply. So I believe there's often a few caps in here which expire. And then finally the motherboard. There we go. No broken clips, thankfully. Not much to see on the bottom, just loads of capacitors, passives. Looks pretty clean. But definitely on the top here, around what might be part of the audio input and output section, there's definitely some leaking going on here. Some of the terminals on some of the ICs are a bit fuzzy. So let's see if I can zoom you in. Let's just get this out of the way. So yeah, definitely around here there's definitely some green fuzz going on. So all these caps, well, what I'm going to be doing is replacing all of the electrolytics, so I might even replace that as well, just as because I can, why not. So these will all get replaced, and there's some over on the other side of the board here, so I'll probably change this electrolytic as well. And there's 3 more around here, so those are going to get changed as well. There's definitely some leaking going on here. So in all, I don't think it's looking that bad at all. And once those caps are replaced and we've cleaned off all the goo, I think this should be fine. So what I'm going to do, put this to one side, and we'll have a quick look inside the power supply. Okay, so here we've got the power supply. Yeah, we've got a number of electrolytics in here. We've got one large one which is running at mains, rectified mains, 385 volts, 180 microfarad. Looks a bit domed, that. I mean, it is in an unusual profile, as in it's quite wide and not very tall. It does seem a bit domed, that. But normally, the larger the capacitor, the longer it lasts. But that does look a bit suspect to me. And I've just done a quick look up on RS, and they're only £3 to replace this. So I think it's well worth just pulling out all the electrolytics and just changing them all rather than gambling. You know, you only want to do this work once, not twice. So that is going to get changed along with these ones here as well. So what I'm going to do now is just go through and desolder all of these and make up a big list of caps to buy, and we'll see what it all comes to. Right, there we have all the capacitors out, including that big one. So we'll give that a test in a sec, but most of these have leaked. So that one's definitely leaked, that one's leaked, that one looks not too bad, to be honest. That one's leaked, that one looks okay, that one's leaked, and that one's leaked. So yeah, definitely all due for a change. So what I'm going to need to do now, clean up the PCB, get all the gunk off it, and oh, hang on, I've missed one. One there as well, and has that leaked? Doesn't look like it actually. There we go. So yeah, I'm going to need to clean up the PCB, get all the gunk off the board. Otherwise, it's just going to corrode and make a mess of everything in the future. So that's all going to need to be cleaned. I've got a list of capacitors, and I need to get that onto my shopping cart at RS and see what this is all going to cost. But before we do that, I'm just going to have a quick look at the values of these resistors, capacitors. I mean, especially this one. I'm quite intrigued by that. Right. So first up, let's put these out of the way. Yeah. So first up is this one, because this one did intrigue me somewhat, whether it's actually okay or bad. So let's see what this one says. 180 microfarad, which is bob on. ESR 0.22. Well, that's probably okay then, to be honest. But I think we might as well change it anyway. Now I've taken it out, might as well. So let's have a look at some of these. So 1000 mic at 10 volts. Yeah, 870 microfarad, that one's definitely losing some of its capacitance. The ESR looks alright though. This one is definitely leaking, and it's the same value, 1000 at 10. 862, very similar to that one, that other one. And this is the same again, 1000 at 10. This one doesn't appear to be leaking. 867. Very similar. This one is 56 mic at 25 volts. Very small pitch on this one, it's hard to get. Yeah, nanofarads. Yeah, that's buggered. This one is 25 volt, 47 microfarad. $44. Yeah, probably not too bad, that one. this one's gone particularly gooey. It's one of these, I've heard these mentioned before in these particular power supplies, which are Elna, long life. Ironic, isn't it? $234 mic, that was supposed to be 270, so it's held its capacitance, it's just spewed its guts everywhere. Right, so the next thing we need to look at is the actual motherboard itself. So yeah, it's going to be well, not too tricky, but it just needs to be a little bit of a delicate job to remove these caps. They have leaked and they have started to corrode some of the circuit boards, so I just need to be really careful, make sure these come off without lifting any pads or anything like that. So, and I'm also going to remove the non-volatile RAM battery because that is going to get relocated off the board. There we have the socket. Right, so that's the battery socket removed. I just need to clean up the flux and stuff on there. Right, I've just had a quick discussion with the Mac owner about how exactly we're going to sort out the battery situation. Yeah, obviously the preference is not to have the battery near the PCB. So yeah, it's just been thinking up the neatest and simplest solution for that. Now, what I had envisaged was removing the original half AA lithium thionyl chloride battery holder, just here. Just unclip the holder. What I plan to do is actually mount that inside here with the pins going through the plastic. This also has a couple of nice mounting holes as well, so that would have mounted onto this plastic. Wires would have come out the bottom and followed the speaker and the fan wires up to the motherboard. So that meant that you could continue using the half AA batteries, which have a pretty good capacity, and if it does leak and perchance in the future, at least it's away from the motherboard. So I thought that was quite a neat solution. It uses the original hardware, that fits in there pretty neatly. But the owner prefers to have to switch to CR2032 batteries and use one of these holders or something similar to that anyway, and actually mount that in here. I think it's a bit neater having this myself, but it's not a big issue to switch to one of these. The only downside is you're not really getting as much capacity. The half AA ones will be much higher capacity than the 3-volt lithium. I'd be interested to hear people's thoughts on what is the what would be the better option. But I think we're going to go ahead and use the CR2032 holder and put it in there and use those instead. So, but yeah, I would definitely be interested in hearing other people's opinion. Right, so let's start tackling these capacitors on the motherboard. So I'm just going to snip this one out because it makes it easier. Okay, so we've got all the capacitors off the board. Now I just need to go through and clean this up properly. I think there might be one pad that departed company. It looked pretty corroded. It was one of these ones near the power connector. So yeah, we'll see what we can do with that. Right, so all the caps have been removed, everything's been cleaned up, all the old solder removed, and it's ready for the new caps to go on. So yeah, it all came came up pretty good. If I zoom you in here so you can see. You can see here that all the pads are pretty good. There's just one over on, I think it was C6, where it's just slightly coming off the circuit board, but it's only just one little corner, so that shouldn't be a problem. But all the rest of it seemed to be pretty good and didn't cause too many problems. So it's just a case of ordering the new caps and waiting for them to arrive. That concludes part 2. So thanks very much for watching, everybody. I'll see you in part 3. Bye for now.